good thing that it warns me when it's right protected. Otherwise, we could sit here and talk and not have nothing. Well, it's not like it'd be the first time.
It's true.
Oh, welcome to Scuttlebutt Podcast. I'm Rich.
And I'm Sandi. And here we are back out at the cabin again. I did the dishes and put them away this time.
And we are in a great mood because it is spring. Finally, spring.
Spring has sprung. Actually, earlier this year than last year, but we had an incredibly poor, cold, awful
We set
February.
record. We set record for February.
Yeah.
Now, this is in Celsius, so you have to convert it a little bit to get into Fahrenheit. But our average temperature, day in, day out, 24 hours a day, our average temperature was minus 22.
Yeah.
Minus 22 Celsius. So I don't know, that's probably 5, maybe 8, 9, 10 below 0 Fahrenheit. That was our average temperature for the whole month of February. And on February 5th, we were the coldest spot on planet Earth, and we were colder than the surface of Mars. We were at minus 47 Celsius, which is 52.6 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, and that's without a wind chill. That's
Yeah.
without a we don't even talk about wind chill. Wind chills is for city folks.
Well, I don't know. Out at home, anywhere when you're out in the bush, wind chill matters. But anyway, it's the end of March now, and there's lots of ice around still, but there isn't as much snow as there was.
Well, no, but here just like 6 days ago, the weather snapped.
Yeah.
And literally you could hear it. It was like it broke because we went from having unseasonably cold first 2 weeks of March to all of a sudden, boom, and then it was unseasonably warm. We've actually we've hit 17, 18 degrees to the positive Celsius, which is like 60-some degrees.
We'll take it.
Oh, we'll take it.
Absolutely, we'll take it. The dogs really love it. We can be outside. Yesterday we had a wiener roast for lunch.
Oh,
First
yeah.
time we've had a fire out. Well, we couldn't find the fire pit actually because there was lots of snow here
That's a
and
graphic,
at home too.
That's a graphic example, isn't it? You go from one Friday you can't find a fire pit to the next Friday having a wiener roast, and the fire pit sticks this high out of the ground.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a fun day yesterday. It was just nice to be out and just out. The air was soft. I believe I used that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we went from it being so difficult to put in under the ice beaver traps. You're shoveling 20 to 24, 25 inches of hard drifted snow. You're shoveling that out of the way, and then you're sawing. And I've got a 22-inch bar on my chainsaw, and just about not getting through. And this is in the runs. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my goodness. And now, when we went and pulled them this morning, you could fall.
Somebody just about got wet.
You could fall through.
That's somebody over there.
That's the thing, though. When you're set up on these beaver houses, the one thing I always look at is which side is to the south. You want to have that south-facing house is the best side to set your trap on, because that's where they're going to be coming out first. That's where it's going to lose the ice the quickest, because it melts. That there's a lot of thermal energy stored by the dirt and that of the house that helps it melt out quicker. And so you just about always can bet that if you stand on that beaver house and you look at the sun, that there's at least one run right there.
One run.
Yeah. It's a good way to figure it out anyway for around here. So I actually yesterday setting up some, I didn't even have to chop. I had to be careful not to fall.
He used his setters just to kind of and there was just very little ice there. So certainly wasn't going to be something you were going to be standing on anyway.
But we had a first of, and I have to recant. Yeah, I got to confess.
Recant? You don't hear this very often.
Well, this is what I believe anyway. One of the houses I set up, I caught a beaver on, right in the entrance of the lodge. But when I pull it up, it's like tube of fur.
Yeah, you brought it home. It was a flat beaver.
When it lays there, I mean, there's kind of a few bones left in it, but it's a tube of fur. Whatever had ate its way in from the back end, from the anus and that, and up inside, and they ate everything out from inside.
From the vent.
The vent, okay, whatever. It's an anus also. It vents.
It vents.
Just because somebody vents doesn't mean We have to call it that.
Whole new definition to venting.
Anyway, I'm confused as heck at this point because, I mean, 4 days? 5 days maximum. If I'd have caught a beaver like 4 seconds after I walked away from there, that's how long it could have been. And I'm thinking, and it was underwater. And I thought that the only thing it could eat underwater is, like muskrat can. Muskrat can eat greens and that. But I was thinking a mink, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
that's a lot.
How many?
Or how many mink were there?
How many mink does it take to eat a 40-pound beaver?
It's a mathematical equation.
Well, I mean, a big mink is 3 pounds, right? I mean, that's it. So there's a lot of eating going on. Anyway, I pulled it out of there, and they've now become a washout in the dam, and nothing had tried plugging it, so I was sure there was no beaver left in the dam. So I took him through a stand in there and put a 330 in there, and then I put another one down below because where the water washes through the dam and comes out below, there's a current below, and if an otter or whatever comes from down below, they swim right up that current, and they will try and go up that way rather than jump up and go over top of the dam. Yeah. So I set those, and lo and behold, I caught 2 otter. Now their bellies are looking kind of plump. Do you suppose they're full of beaver meat?
Plump. Maybe.
I never thought otter ate beaver. Honest to God, I didn't believe it because I've never ever found any evidence.
Well, we still don't really have evidence,
No,
but it seems a likely scenario.
As soon as the tubo beaver was gone, the otters started vacating, and I caught 2 of them. Yeah, but it was amazing. But they never ate any of the bones. They just ate the meat. They didn't eat the hair or anything. Like, I mean, literally, I will show you. You'll see this later on the show. I will skin and board this. It's just going to be a little different skinning when there's no body to cut it off.
Yeah, exactly. Weird.
But the otter, of course, are moving really good, and we are done with the otter season now.
Yeah, we're done with the otter season. We've still got time to trap beaver, and we might even shoot a few. Who knows?
I think I'm going to shoot a few.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some beaver that are causing troubles out on the oil field roads, but I don't like to set my gear out there because it gets stolen, right?
Yeah.
So I just as soon sit there and shoot them, and that makes life a lot easier, right?
And then we also have the opportunity to do some muskrat trapping and stuff too. So
yeah. But it's a busy time of the year.
Well, everything's busy. We've got sportsman shows still coming up, right? So we have one in Yorkton coming up in about a week's time.
April 6th, 7th, or 5th,
yeah,
5th,
so
6th?
just under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the 6th and 7th, I think. And we were just at Edmonton a week or so ago for the big Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show through CNSS. And that one, wow. This was the first year we'd had an actual booth where we had some of our merchandise and whatnot for sale, but more just to talk to people. And it was overwhelming how many people stopped, or when the crowd was just crushed, they would just wave and say, really love your show. Thanks for doing it. Stay happy, or whatever it was that they said.
Don't wax, brilliant like that while I'm trying to drink. I suppose spit my sipping whiskey.
Coffee, sipping whiskey,
Yeah.
not whiskey.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite flavors from Old Smokes.
Yeah,
and they were there too. But there was something really cool happened there recently. Big news in Canada is that we have another outdoors channel, Sportsman's Channel out of the United States, has partnered with what used to be called the World Fishing Network in Canada.
WFN.
Yeah, WFN, and now they're bringing on hunting, and they're bringing a bunch of new hunting in that out of the United States. At the same time, Pursuit Channel out of the U.S. has partnered with Wild.
Yeah.
With Wild TV.
And so that's very exciting too, because again, more different programming is
absolutely. Both channels want to have unique programming.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, the Canadians are going to get double the programming that we had before.
Yeah.
I actually like that. I like that there's not going to be the same show on the same on
both
each
networks.
channel. No, we're gonna have two.
Yeah. Well, I think when you have two networks, you're more likely to have a bigger viewing audience overall, because there's going to be back and forth that goes on, right?
Well, sure, people will be able to shop. I mean, it's just like you don't watch CBC or CTV or ABC or NBC every night.
Yeah.
You know, you've got favorite shows on each channel, and that's good. Competition's good, always good.
Always.
I really like the opportunity that it can mean for fellow Canadian producers,
Yes.
because now all of a sudden there's more room in the market. You know, there's more room for them to get on TV. And in Canada, all Canadian channels have to have a certain content of
Canadian,
CanCom. It's Canadian content, and you get your CanCom number from the CRTC.
And it has to be produced in Canada.
Yeah, produced, filmed, and everything in Canada. So that's a big thing. We discovered something pretty cool, though.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah.
We
out of all of this and just discussions with the two networks and with other producers and whatnot, it's become very apparent.
Well, we were kind of being, as much as a person, you know, doesn't like to be egotistical. I mean, we've always just been head down, butt up, and working, right?
Yeah.
That's all it was, and mostly after, you know, the early years in TV where you got hurt every time somebody in TV screwed you. You know, now we just don't pay any attention anymore, right? But suddenly there was a lot of competition about, you know, where we were going to air. And at first I didn't pay much mind to it. And then I discovered, well, both channels wanted very much to be unique, and nobody was going to cross over. And so then when I started looking at that, okay, why then are we under such demand? Because we, you know, I mean, I know we're a very popular show, but we've always kind of attributed it to the tall poppy scenario, right?
Apparently I'm talking to somebody other than them this morning.
Yeah,
Good boys.
They sure slept last night after running all yesterday. So once we made a discovery, it turns out that Wild TV, what it used to be called Wild TV, which is now called Wild Pursuit, has had Nielsen numbers for the last 18 months. And those Nielsen numbers told quite the story.
We certainly did.
We are far and away the most popular show on the channel. Like, it's not even close. We have no competition of any sort. No hunting, no fishing, no show from anywhere else. Here in Canada, we ruled the roost. Absolutely.
Can you tell they're like a pair of 2-year-olds? No one's paying any attention to them.
So they're gonna fight?
Go on your beds. Beds. Go on. No, you. Yeah, go. Well, I just saw them wrestling and hitting the camera.
Hitting the camera? Oh yeah, of course. You know, the mum thing, right?
Yeah. I'm clairvoyant.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got a bunch more opportunity here in Canada. Our show is extremely popular, and we're very happy. And thank you to everybody who makes it that way. We couldn't do it without you. I think the overwhelming part of it is the fact that so many of our viewers or listeners or whatever aren't trappers.
Yeah.
It's just got to do with their interest in the outdoors. I don't think you have to scratch anybody in North America very deep, and the pioneer spirit is right there.
Yeah.
You know, we've all come from pioneering stock. It's not like we have, you know, thousands of years here or in Canada. I mean, like the town we live in is hardly 100 years old. You know what I mean? And and that's not saying much.
No, but you know, it's so many people in Edmonton and people that contact us by Facebook or email or whatever is, you know, my grandpa used to, or my great uncle used to trap, or, you know, I don't trap at all, but I remember, or because of you, I got back into it. It's really been quite gratifying that way.
It has. We had a lot of that last weekend at the Sportsman Show. Yeah. So with the two new channels, it's Sportsman's is the one and Wild Pursuit is the other. We are still under contract for 1 year with what's now Wild Pursuit. We haven't made a decision one way or the other. One channel's larger than the other. Wild Pursuit has much larger numbers than Sportsman's has. Where it's going to go, I don't know, but it's an exciting time, and
it is.
It's kind of cool. Kind of cool to have actually have a choice.
It's very cool to have a choice.
Our choices before were take it or leave it.
Yeah, I guess that was a choice too. We always have a choice. Sometimes they don't seem like they're very palatable.
Let's talk a little bit about a very hot subject when it comes to trappers and trapping, and that's fur prices.
Ah, yes.
We've just, within the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of auctions happen. One was the NAFA auction. It happened first, and then about 2 weeks after that, then the fur harvesters auction happened. Coyotes are unbelievably strong.
Still, and that is greatly attributed to Canada Goose and the trim that they use, which is
As well as the Italians. Coyote is really strong with the Italians. And I'm not sure whether it's got to do with, I don't know what they use them for, whether it's the same thing as what Canada Goose does. Canada Goose is a large buyer here.
We should have Googled that.
Should have. I just know that Canada Goose and the Italians. So the Western production of coyotes was down. At the first auction anyway.
Yeah.
It was down, and that drove prices even harder. So prices went up. In fact, I know some folks from Ontario that even had a $70 average on Eastern coyotes.
Oh, and that's saying something because the Western coyotes are the ones that have fared best in terms of price.
Oh yeah, like if you had nice coyotes, Western coyotes here, it was easy to double that $70 average.
It's kind of like the Eastern beavers, right? Like
the black,
they have more black there. We have more brown here, so the black generally tends to get a better price.
Yep. So anyway, the coyote is really, really strong. The bottom fell out of otter. Just about none of my otters sold, and what went for $105 average or $100 average last year went for $17 average this year.
Ouch.
An otter is a lot of work for that. That's too bad. And it's such a beautiful fur.
Yeah.
It always
I
makes
still think that we should get some of our furs dressed so that we could get a jacket made for you.
Oh, I would love that. An otter jacket would be nice. Marten, we're really weird. We have a lot of we very seldom have a medium or large on our line when it comes to Marten. Ours are all XL, 2XL, 3XL.
Yeah.
And I had just about a dozen triple XLs. Well, they all sold, and they all sold good. $106, $108 US.
Right.
Was what those lots went for. Then the damaged, if you have any damaged ones or ones that they decide aren't as good a quality, they call them mediums or semis or whatever. Those sold as well. So I had, one end I had $108, and the other end I had some $23 ones. So brought my average down. The stuff in the middle, the larges and the XLs didn't sell.
Yeah.
Didn't sell at all. And that is so weird. So that really hurt the average. Fisher, we averaged, I think, $70 on our males, and we had several females in the top lot.
Yeah.
Which was $112 US.
Yeah.
So that was fairly strong.
Well, it's hard to tell, I guess, a lot of times just what's going to go for what, and sometimes you get surprised, right? Like you said, with those medium-sized ones, Marten.
My lynx average was terrible, but probably a third of them were kittens. So what do you do, right?
Yeah.
I don't like how North American fur harvesters or North American fur auctions, pardon me, they just set up a new website, and I can't click on. It used to be I had links, and it had a number associated with it. I click on that, and go look at that lot,
right?
And I could look at that lot and see what that lot sold for. I can't do that. Oh. And I really don't like that.
Well, I hope you've given them your feedback, because oftentimes when if you give feedback, people pay attention.
You're so optimistic.
Well, it works most of the time.
Not in my world. Not unless they give that feedback in a really loud voice. With the proper expletives punctuating the sentence.
There you go.
Then something happens.
Well.
So after NAFA, which was a mixed bag, there was a lot of people that were unhappy because lynx were not very strong, beaver were not strong. Muskrat weren't bad. I don't know how many hundred I sold, but the average, and I had some double X smalls all the way up to triple XL large. The total average for all of them was $390 US.
So that's not bad.
So that's almost $5 average.
Canadian.
Canadian from for all
Such
of them,
a wide.
that's not bad. That's not. I'm okay with that because muskrat are a lot of fun and they're not a lot of work, right? Not like
Yeah.
an otter, which is a ton of work for
Yeah.
$17 for so the price of 3 muskrats was,
And we had quite a year for weasel. Now I don't think weasel sold though, did it?
I didn't send any weasel.
Yeah.
We have a ton of weasel right now. I think we ended up actual count was like 52 weasel or 58 weasel, 52 I think.
Over 50 for
Yeah,
sure.
well, for last winter it was just crazy.
Yeah, and we had a big year for mink
Yeah.
this year too.
Yeah.
Just a very odd year.
So then after that we went to then the fur harvesters auction went off, and I think it was in Helsinki, in Finland. I think they did that first one they do in conjunction with Saga Furs, which is a fur farm. They grow they ranch mink, and I'm not sure if they ranch fox, but they ranch mink. It was a bomb, a bomb. Like hardly nothing sold. Like just about none of my selects or super select Marten or Fisher, none of that sold. My lynx,
Yeah.
and what sold went for like $17 and that kind of stuff. It was, even looking at
Painful.
well, there was a couple of double XL Marten that sold, and I got 2.5 times on NAFA what I got on Fur Harvesters.
Yeah.
So.
Ouch.
Yeah, coyotes were stronger there, but probably $20 or $30 lighter than on the other side. Beaver were slightly stronger than NAFA, which is normal for them, and I don't understand why. Probably because they carry a lot of beaver out of the far north, so they're noted for a higher quality beaver, I think.
Right.
Raccoon have on both markets bounced a little bit.
Oh,
They came back a little bit stronger, which is good to see.
that is good to see.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful raccoon scarf. You would never know it was raccoon though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's pretty unique the way it's dyed, the colors it's dyed.
It's woven a little bit,
and it's sheared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
There's so many beautiful things that are made with fur, and a lot of people just really don't. They don't even recognize what it is. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So we are just here today, kind of pulling out all of the winter stuff.
Yeah.
I don't expect, with the way the weather is supposed to be for the rest of the week, I don't expect that there's going to be any ice that we could travel on next.
No, so
Next
we're really
time around
hoping that the new Argo is all set up. It's in.
Yep.
It's just they're just outfitting it with all of the bells and whistles
Yeah.
that we ordered for it. And by the look of outside, and you folks can't see outside, but it is a bright, sunshiny, beautiful day here today, and I don't think there's going to be much left for ice, just patches of. So the snowmobile won't run out here next time. It barely goes now. It's just so unusual to drive your snowmobile across grass. So.
But it's when you get that penetrating sun right now,
Yeah.
and we've had a week of sun,
Yes.
or a week and a half. No, a week solid of sunshine with absolutely no clouds or nothing, and the sun has a lot of thermal energy. It's really right now is the creepy time to be around the edges of like I mentioned, the beaver houses, but beaver dams, even around the edges of the lake, because that sun has melted. Pretty much the snow has gone off the top of the ice. Now that sun is getting through and it warms the mud underneath.
Yeah.
Okay, and that thermal energy that comes up out of that mud is how ice actually goes out. Ice goes out from underneath,
I know.
not from the top down.
But it's creepy because you go along the edge, and if you go, like we did today, around some of the beaver ponds and whatnot, we were away from the edge by 10, 12 feet, but you could look over and you could see down along the grass and the cattails and whatnot. You could see water right to the bottom, like that's, and you just, oh yeah, no, don't like it. Don't like it.
Did you notice how it rippled as we drove by?
I just really closed my eyes, actually.
I don't doubt it.
I do not like being on the ice. I don't know what it was. Past life stuff. I don't know. Who knows? Don't like being on the ice. Never have.
I know. So I always avoid it as much as I can when you're around. Normally we would have brought the Argo this weekend,
Yeah.
knowing what we knew, but it just wasn't ready. So
Yeah.
it's coming up. We're running another Conquest again this year,
Yes.
and it's got the tracks and the top and the heater and
Oh, yeah.
the catwalks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
It is beautiful because even when the weather kind of gets a little crappy, you have that top up and the heater going, and you can run around in there with your coat off. And
It's you can't believe. I talk lots of times we talk about the front rack and how important it becomes. It's a workbench, right? It's so important how quickly we do stuff. But even like at the end of the day, you don't have to clean your clothes or the cameras or anything out of it because it's all sealed in there. If it rains all night long, it doesn't matter. Everything is safe in there and secure, right?
Absolutely.
It just one more step that you don't have to worry about. It's a big deal. It's only when you get in a situation like this where we don't have, we've already sold the previous Argo, and we've got the other one is here and almost ready, and now we're sitting there. Well, how do we get in here in 4 days' time if that other one isn't ready? Because there won't be snow left anymore.
Well, I think the short answer is we won't, probably, because we don't drive in here. There's we can't get past a couple beaver dams getting in here either way, and the snowmobile just isn't going to go. I mean, we could get in here, but we're not going to go anywhere with it.
No, I know.
And so we probably just won't. But yeah.
I really want to come out because you can't. Once the beavers start spending a bunch of time above the ice, very quickly their hides go to heck, and I don't want that to happen. I want to get rid of those ones for the oil companies.
Yeah.
And like I say, I can't set gear there; that just gets stolen.
Yeah.
One of the things we get a lot of questions about is the model of Argo we run, and why do we choose that model? There are two main lines, I guess you want to call them. There's the Avenger and there's the Conquest.
Right.
And the split between them is that if you think of a F-150 and an F-350, so a half ton or a 1 ton, and we run the 1 ton. The Conquest is the 1 ton, and it has things like the super heavy 1.5 or 1 5/8 thick axles, and they have special steel in the sprockets so they can run a really high-speed steel chain, so you don't get a lot less stretch, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, and we run the tracks all year round.
That's where I was going with this.
Oh, well, I just stole your thunder.
you just threw me under the bus there. Yeah. Oh, shut up. I'll tell them we run tracks all the time.
I thought it was a long explanation, so we just...
Yeah, cut to the chase. And those axles run in roller taper bearings, which are oil bath inside the unit, and they're adjustable. You can tighten them, you can loosen them, or what, and they're really easy to service. But that's because you've got these big axles in there, and all the stress that's involved in running the tracks all the time. This is why we choose the unit, and it's got other things like it's got a solid tubular frame that separates the upper and lower body, and it's got a big heavy frame down below, all made for that heavy duty year-round track use that we have. If you're not going to use tracks that much, then the Avenger is an awesome machine.
Yeah.
But when and the Avenger and the Conquest run the same motor, same transmission, that kind of stuff. It's just where the division comes for us is when we're running those tracks, and because they're a lot of work, and they're more work in the summertime.
Yeah.
And people think, well, can you turn on pavement? That's no work for it.
No, it's the grass.
It's the grass that's the work. There's the work. And now that we don't have to skid steer anymore, the fact with that Admiral transmission that we can, that it walks its way around, it's a lot better that way, right? But anyway, for the folks that have been asking about what model we run and what model we're getting, that's why.
Yeah.
That is the biggest deal. We have... we are headed to Yorkton. That's going to be our last show for the year.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And we're going to be there with Old Smokes Coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
So Yorkton is in southern Saskatchewan. Anybody wants to come visit us, come see us. It's the Parkland show.
And we'll be at the Old Smokes booth. We're not doing any speaking there this year, but we're going to be at the Old Smokes booth, helping you sample coffee and figure out which is the best for you. And then you can order it online.
And our promo code.
That's
where you're going.
That's where I was going to go. Old Smokes is a sponsor of the podcast, and if you order coffee online from Ole Smokes, OLESMOKES.com.
Coffee.
Oh, right. Sorry. olesmokescoffee.com. And use the promo code Trapping Inc., all one word, you will get 10% off of your online order. So that's something to look forward to. And it's great coffee, smoked coffee. You really wouldn't believe the flavor. It's a beautiful flavor.
Well, what I like about it is because it's smoked, it doesn't get bitter.
Yeah.
Because the smoking process is a slower cure, and it comes off. You can have it so dark, and it's not bitter whatsoever.
No.
Right.
Our favorite is stout maple.
Absolutely.
And then sipping whiskey, because we're dark coffee kind of folks. Anyway, we're dark. Yeah. Dark coffee kind of folks. So we really enjoy that. But they have for every coffee taste.
Yes. So if any of you out there are around Yorkton, Saskatchewan on the 5th and 6th?
6th and 7th,
6th and 7th of April, we'll be there, and we would love to see you. I guess we should wrap this up.
Yeah, we should wrap this up.
Call it good. It's so sunny out there. I got to go
here.
start a fire so we can go roast a wiener. We don't have any Spam, so
Yeah,
gonna have to roast a wiener.
Golly, that's tough. Yeah. And thanks for everybody that writes in with Spam recipes and really just embraces the whole idea of the goofiness that we do out here.
I love the one person sends in this recipe, and it's fried Spam, and it's with cheese whiz and mayo on it. And I says, I guess if you're going to go to hell, you might as well take the express train, right?
And with that, I think we will go light a fire, have a hot dog, and head for home. So
All right.
Thanks very much for being here. It's been a real pleasure to chat with you again.
And maybe we'll see you down the line.